And we are back. And we just finished the ultimate of comedies, Spy from 2015, rated R, very hard R, clocking in at 2 hours and a very, very well-deserved R rating.
Yes.
We have seen this on TV on the more tame, I guess, cable channels, and they edit the crap out of this film. But it was nice to catch it on Max, where it was filthy, just
filthy
dirty,
glory,
filthy words everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
fantastic!
Yeah. Love this movie.
Love this movie. We talk about movies. I mean, there's been the debate about Tropic Thunder and stuff like that. What do you think of this film? This is from 2015. It wasn't that long ago. This is 8 years ago. But could a movie like this be made today?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, Tropic Thunder was like dealing with subjects that this film didn't have to be bothered with or deal with. Tropic Thunder dealt with race. There was the whole thing with mentally handicapped people, drug addicts.
Yeah, guy hiding his gayness.
Yeah, being closeted.
Yeah,
there were a lot of, I guess, taboo subjects that it poked fun at.
Yeah,
but it did so in a way that was smart. It wasn't exploitative. It wasn't going for a cheap laugh. There were a lot of films that did do that sort of thing back then too, but those really don't stand the test of time too much. This Spy is different. It's just raunchy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of cursing in it.
There's tons of it.
A lot of insults being thrown, a lot of ridiculous situations.
Sexual
innuendos. Aldo is crazy. He is the ultimate stereotype of an Italian guy. And
it's so damn good.
It's not far from the truth, but if you're going to Italy.
I told you about my encounter in
I've
Italy.
heard about it from you. I've heard about it from multiple sources. I've never been there myself, but
they don't. Yeah,
Aldo.
Just come up to you.
Aldo was not really far off.
No, not at all.
But all in all, I think a film like this could definitely still be made. Mm-hmm. I think people try to, but I don't know how successful it is. This
is just on all cylinders, just firing. It was just like a perfect storm of perfectness.
Yeah, I mean, they really hit every note perfectly. I mean, Melissa McCarthy is always funny.
Always.
She definitely plays that part really well. Actually, she was The Heat was also another Paul Feig
movie, yeah.
But in that one, she was just angry from the get-go. This one, there was a nice little transition. Where it's, she's not a confident person. And as the story progresses, you see her gaining that confidence and becoming a more self-assured person and an excellent field agent in this crazy parody of a CIA operation that's going on. And all of the characters, Rose Byrne's amazing.
Bobby Cannavale,
Jude Law. Jason Statham is brilliant. He is so he basically just took the piss out of everything that he has ever done, and just he took every Jason Statham character, amped it up to 11, made it crazy, and that angry English accent of his is just perfect. When he is going through like the resume of just tragedies and accomplishments that he has endured to save this world multiple times, it is nuts. This arm was ripped off entirely and reattached with this arm. Just the most ridiculous nonsense. And it's great having McCarthy opposite him playing like the straight person going, I don't think that's possible.
Having a hard time with this.
And then the scene in the casino where she actually that's like the first time where she sort of starts talking back to him and asserting herself. And that was just brilliant.
Yeah.
She's like, unless you're so extreme, you got another dick growing out of your hip. That was great. And you could see he's like,
taking it back.
He's like speechless after that. And he just sort of walks away, but not without, of course, saying our favorite line, "You're going to fuck this up."
A line that we still say to this day.
The whole film, he's just like, "You're going to fuck this up."
And of course, Aldo's Classic line.
Aldo's classic line.
Oh my God.
If only we had time for such pleasures.
I fucking love that line so much.
It's so good. And Bobby Cannavale's great.
Everybody.
I don't know the actress's name.
Miranda Hart.
Yeah,
Nancy.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney is
have no sense of humor.
Good. I have no sense of humor. She is so pissed off. Even the supporting cast, like those two other agents who are like giggling because they fooled Ford that there was a face-off machine. What? Like, oh my God. Everything is perfect.
Yes. So this movie is sort of like a parody of all the spy movies. I love the opening credits. It's very James Bond kind of thing.
They even have that sort of music.
Yeah. And the way it's shot too. I mean, this is obviously a movie that had budget, right? So
had a decent budget.
Beautiful. It's
on location.
On location. So yeah.
Beautiful villas and whatnot.
How much you want to bet it was all filmed in Canada?
It probably was.
Let's see.
Either that or like maybe they were in Bucharest or wherever they were, but it was like the real
Budapest. Oh, it's filmed in Hungary, which can, I guess, double up.
Hungary doubles for a lot of stuff. I think, like, wasn't Hellboy like filmed entirely there, and that was supposed to be in Manhattan?
Oh wow! This film did gangbusters. The budget on this film is $65 million.
Mm-hmm.
The opening weekend was not a lot. June 7th, 2015, 29,085,719. The gross U.S. and Canada, 110,825,712. The gross worldwide, 235 million.
Wow.
666,219. Freaking, it deserved every penny.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're still waiting for it to turn a profit.
Of course. Got to figure out that freaky
Hollywood accounting.
Yeah. This was written and directed by Paul Feig. Hats off. Amazing script. Just top to bottom, top notch. Like this movie from the very first frame to the very last, just gangbusters.
It's just so good, and it's just fun all the way through, even through the credits.
Yeah, even the end credits too. Yeah. So this came out in 2015 and did remarkably well. And Lady Ghostbusters came out. Oh wait, executive producer. Wait, I'm trying to figure out. So this came out in 2015. Lady Ghostbusters came out in 2016.
So a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember he had a lot of clout coming out of this because of how well it did, and also the Heat. I believe the Heat did very well for him too.
That came out in 2013.
And then and Bridesmaids got a lot of clout.
2011.
Yeah, and then Lady Ghostbusters, or it wasn't called Lady Ghostbusters.
No, it was just called Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters,
which was a good freaking film.
I enjoyed. We'll just call it Lady to differentiate the Lady Ghostbusters. I don't understand why people heap so much hate upon it. I remember the only defense I could think of is I remember the trailers and the commercials were terrible.
Yeah.
They were, I don't know who put those together, but they were awful. And they made me not want to see the movie.
But we saw it because the kids wanted to watch it. And we saw it
because the kids wanted to watch it. And I just remember leaving the theater going, this was fun. Yeah. This was absolutely fun. Yeah. But I think it definitely hurt Feig's
street cred. Well,
career after that.
I didn't see A Simple Favor. That's the Blake Lively, Anna Kendrick one. But I did see Last Christmas.
And
which
you said
was
that
shite. Holy smokes.
I guess they should just stick with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, seriously. And we saw that The School for Good and Evil.
Oh, that's right. Did he do that?
He did that, remember?
Oh.
That was shite, too.
You know what? Christmas one and Good and Evil and whatever the hell this other thing that you mentioned, were they not like that type of movie? Were they more of like just the... I mean, that Christmas one, that was just supposed to be like a love story, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't care for it. I thought it was
No, but what I'm getting at is maybe he just excels at
comedies.
The raunchy comedies.
He should stick with that.
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I understand wanting.
Is hard.
Yeah, I understand.
Hard.
I understand wanting to branch out, but you're not good at the others.
I saw some interview on YouTube. I think I'll have to find it so I can post it with the review. But some guy, when he was filming that Christmas movie, like they talked, and he's got an interesting backstory. Paul Feig, this is somebody who persevered in spite of everything. Just really wanted to do this and just went out and did it and made a success of it. I mean, if you look at his IMDb page, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the beginning where it's like, okay, whatever. But he's on Freaks and Geeks as a director. He was on Undeclared as a director. I don't know what I Am David is. He was he directed 7 episodes of Arrested Development, which was pretty big. Something called Early Bird, some movie that only got a 3.5. Yikes. Unaccompanied Minors, I heard of that. He did an episode of 30 Rock, Mad Men, 3 episodes of Weeds, 1 episode of Parks and Recs, 2 episodes of that Bored to Death show. A TV movie called Rona and Beverly, and then 10 episodes of Nurse Jackie. And then I guess his first major film after all of this TV stuff was Bridesmaid.
Oh, yeah. I guess his film. I would probably say his like the start of his film success was Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
And then you got The Heat.
Which I don't know. I've seen it, and
I've never seen it, but I've always heard good things about it, and I know people really liked it a lot.
I like The Heat more, but I like Spy more.
I thought The Heat was hilarious.
Yeah. He did 15 episodes of The Office, and then in 2013 he did The Heat. But Spy is his piece de resistance, no?
To me, that's the height of his work. Spy was
Lady Ghostbusters was good, but it was
good, but it was not as good as Spy. Spy was outstanding.
Bringing it back full circle. This is why we're here to talk about Spy. What do you think?
I've just been gushing about this film since we started.
Why do you love it so much?
I love Melissa McCarthy's character. I love the fact that she's sort of this timid. She's like the analyst, I guess they call her.
She's like the basement agent.
The basement agent. The
voice in the earpiece.
The earpiece, the guy in the chair. Yeah. She is that person to Jude Law's Bradley Fine, who is basically James Bond.
Yes.
And she's in love with him, but she can't say it because she's so timid. And then as the story progresses, she just becomes, she gets put in this position where she has to go out into the field. And as a result, you see her just becoming more confident, more assertive. And her assertiveness is just
amazing.
Just foul-mouthed.
Yes, that too. When she comes from Rayna and reads her to filth, that was amazing.
She tears Rayna down. She tears, I don't even remember what the Swedish dude's name was. But she was vicious to that girl.
P-word. I was like, man,
oh God, yeah.
You gonna cry? You gonna cry? See?
but everybody else everybody was just great. It was really, really, really enjoyable, and I just loved how. I especially love the whole thing rides on McCarthy. She's
amazing. She
is great because she seems like such a bumbling person in the beginning. That she's passing out, she's falling over, and she does physical comedy so well.
Yeah,
and just that in the beginning, how I would say innocent she is, that cab ride over from the airport going through Paris, where she's got that whole tourist mentality where she's like, oh my God, the Louvre.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the hotel? Oh, fancy. Oh, wait, maybe not that. Oh, maybe over here. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, well, it's getting a little spicy around here. And then she sees the prostitute going down on the guy and just it's just so disgusting, just right out on the street. And the Hotel Moliere, and you see the sign with the rat crawling behind it. And she's walking in the hall, and you just hear something ah, and people crying, a woman sobbing, and it's just this nightmare. And you see this illusion she has of glamorous super spydom.
Yeah.
It's not for her. They don't give her any of that. Fine is getting everything.
Yeah.
She gets the Hotel Moliere and Patsy Walker or whatever the hell her Penny Morgan.
Yes.
You're a single mom. You have 10 cats. Just the worst identities ever.
Ever.
And on top of that, a psycho like Ford appearing out of nowhere, constantly telling her, "You're gonna fuck this up." And all of that, she like perseveres and becomes stronger and stronger until she is the most capable of agents. She is the super agent by the end of the movie, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody else
she has a really satisfying arc.
Yeah. And everybody else is so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
even 50 Cent.
Even 50 Cent has a little cameo in it.
You don't see Kanye doing
You don't see
this
Kanye
shit.
doing shit like that. I killed a terrorist. You don't see Kanye doing it. Everything is good. I can't praise this film enough. It is a excellent dirty comedy.
Absolutely. It is R for a reason.
Oh, there's so much profanity. There's a giant penis in it. There all sorts of
some guy's throat evaporates.
Some guy's throat dissolves. So many people get killed in it. It's not really like bloody or anything. I mean, the throat dissolving is pretty graphic, but there's no blood actually in it at all.
No.
It just looks sort of like soapy.
Yeah, like Sensodyne or
Rose Byrne is such a bitch.
Oh my God.
She is so terrible.
Good to see her. Because, you see her in a lot of stuff, and she's always like the nice lady. Like, she's the nice agent in those X-Men movies, right? Yeah. So it's so nice to see her as just a total fucking rag in this. She is
the way
such a
she kept
bitch.
insulting Melissa McCarthy's dress. She's like, "We must talk about this hideous dress of yours. It's absolutely hilarious."
And she dropped the R word at one point. And you and I both looked at each other like, wait a minute, what?
Well, that fits her character. She would totally say something like that. And she's like...
that's why I said to you, could a movie like this be made now?
I think some people may take offense to the fact that they use that word. But if you are... If you are writing a character who is nasty
and
who is reprehensible, mean, nasty, they're not going to not say these things. That's like saying, okay, we're making a film about the Klan, but you're not allowed to say the N-word.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
The racist has to say it.
Right. Of course. Yes.
And in this film, the complete jerk asshole character that Rose Byrne is, she's going to say mean things. Yeah. That's just how it is. And if you don't do it, it's not authentic. It's whatever. And if you're timid about it because you think somebody in the crowd watching it is going to, I don't know, get their feelings hurt or something, don't make movies.
Yeah.
Don't write movies because you want to portray something and now you're going to hamstring yourself. You're not doing it for an exploitative purpose.
Yeah.
This is why I think everybody is so forgiving of a film like Tropic Thunder, because they did it perfectly. They handled all those topics, all those taboo subjects, but they did it in such a way that it was like, we are not being exploitative of this. This is how these people would act.
Yeah.
They are in a comedy.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous, and they're going to say
outlandish stuff.
They're going to say offensive things,
right?
And that's just how it is. Just go with it. If you don't like that sort of thing, go watch something else. Go watch Paddington. That's an awesome film. It's full of laughs. It's wonderful. You're not going to hear a single slur. Yeah. They're not going to mention race or mental capacities of any kind. It's just fun and nice and good and sweet.
Yeah. But if you want
to see a hard R-rated comedy, guess what? You're going to get hit with some offensive language.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to say, oh, this shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So question for you. We are children of the 70s who grew up in the 80s when comedies were really, really raunchy. I mean, you got your Porky's, you've got your Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, some of that stuff is weird to watch now,
You
right?
watch that, yeah, like Revenge of the Nerds legitimately like
It's cringy.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, that girl, for all intents and purposes, was raped.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, well, she liked it. She realized she liked it.
Yeah.
That would not fly.
Yeah.
Not at all. You can't just.
You can't have that kind of scenario.
I raped her so good that we fell in love. that is not a good plot for something.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember. I know your dad probably does. General Hospital. That was a big storyline. Luke and Laura. I mean,
I never watched General. Luke raped her to the point where she liked him.
I believe so.
It's
been a really long time, but I believe that was sort of the storyline. She sort of, what was that, Munchausen?
No. Stockholm syndrome. Is that what it was going on?
Yeah, I was confused those two. I don't
well,
know
that's
why.
different. That's like if you're doing a film about Stockholm syndrome, but in a lighthearted comedy.
No. This is a soap opera, and she falls in love with Luke.
Yeah, well, if it is a case of Stockholm syndrome, then that's one thing. But if you're in a film where it's like a comedy or something like that, and the plot point is, well, she thinks I'm secretly her boyfriend wearing a mask, and I'm going to have sex with her while she's drunk or whatever, and then afterwards I did it so well I reveal the mask, and suddenly now she's in love with me, even though the rest of the film she despised me the entire time. That's gross. That shouldn't be. That guy should not be the hero of the movie.
Yeah, listen to this. Mob hitman Luke and young Laura met as employees at the campus disco, developing a flirty friendship in 1979. One night, thinking his latest assignment from the mob was about to get him killed, Luke drank heavily and confessed his love to Laura. Quote, "I'm not going to die without holding you in my arms just one time. Dance with me," he said. As they swayed to Herb Alpert's Rise, Laura grew fearful and tried to leave. The camera panned away as Luke forced himself on her, and Laura screamed, "No." After it was over, Laura ran sobbing out of the disco, and Luke cried, "What have I done?" And this was like the it couple in General Hospital.
I'm glad I wasn't into soap operas, man. I hated soap operas.
The 80s were such a weird time.
It's not just the 80s. Remember that terrible James Cagney movie?
Oh my God.
What the hell was it? Love It or Leave It or something?
I forgot what it was called, but that was awful.
It's just like that was just the norm. It was like, all right, I made you a star, and now you're gonna rape you until you're my wife. Yeah. And now you're my wife, and then we're going to get divorced, and then you're going to save me from bankruptcy.
It was so crazy. That was such a crazy movie.
And she's just like, oh, we got to do it for him. Oh, he basically enslaved and raped you for years, and you finally break away with him, and because he's got some financial troubles, because he's a total moron, you're going to... get the hell out of it. And then... Oh, my gosh.
You're not far off the mark. The movie's called Love Me or Leave Me.
Love Me or Leave Me.
From 1955. That is an awful film as well.
Yeah. So that wasn't like a drama, really. That was... I wouldn't say it was a comedy, but
it's tagged as a musical romance.
Romance. Romance. Yeah. The word you're looking for starts with an R, but it's not romance.
Rape.
Musical rape movie.
Good Lord. What is wrong with our culture? Damn it.
But that was...
As the mother of daughters, I am incensed at all of this. Yeah,
but that was a romance. That's
crazy.
Get the...
Freak out of here.
That was romance.
At least Spy isn't pretending to be something it's not.
Yeah. Spy is great.
Spy is wonderful.
Spy is great.
Saucy language.
It's dirty. There's tons of saucy language. If you are offended by that, if you are...
Please don't watch this.
Of the daintier type.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Go watch Paddington. It's awesome. Paddington 2, even better.
Or Downton Abbey, where Aldo learned his English from.
Yeah. don't shit on it because it's still awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something for everyone, and this definitely, for me anyway, hits all the marks. It is funny, and we've seen this a gajillion times, and I'm still laughing my ass off watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
It's still funny. I still laugh my ass off when that Aldo is untying her. Or any of the scenes with Aldo are hilarious. Or any of the scenes with Ford, or any of the, I mean, Bobby Cannavale's great.
He's an idiot too.
I loved what's her name's reaction when she sees him. She's like, "Oh, he is hot. Oh, I don't think I can be objective. I'm rooting for that guy." That is like one of the greatest bits of dialogue there.
Nancy, she's hilarious.
I am rooting for that guy.
I love that Rose and Bobby are doing this film together because they're in real life couple. It all works. It all works. I mean, it's just I'm just gonna say it. As far as I'm concerned, this is a 10 out of 10. I know that you say there's no perfect film, but nothing could have made this better. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is, from start to finish, it is just a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is gangbusters. Even like people like what you were saying, like the two agents at the table that don't really have a lot of screen time, but maximize their input. Yeah, everything. Like even the credits in the beginning, which are such a ripoff of all the Bond
all the
movies.
James Bond, yeah. The silhouettes, and the song.
Just amazing, yeah.
Everything is just perfect.
Yeah, even the crazy German techno band in that scene. I'm like, what is going on? I love this.
Oh yeah.
This guy's wearing a disco ball. I don't know what he's got on.
From what I've seen, that's like an actual like group or something.
Is it really?
Yeah. Like, because I've seen them outside of
this film.
It wasn't a clip from that they performed. They do performances like that.
Good God.
So this was probably their worldwide exposure.
European music is wild. I guess I'm sure they look at us and like, those are crazy Americans. Yeah. They're top 40. All right, 1 to 10. What are you gonna give this?
I'd give this a 9.
It's more than a 9.
All right, I can give it a 9.5. There you go.
All right. 9.5 is fair, I guess.
Yeah.
It should be, your number should be a 10.
Whatever.
How do you make this better? You can't.
I think this is the best thing Paul Feig ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Lady Ghostbusters was good. Not as good as this, though.
Yeah.
But you should still watch Lady Ghostbusters because that movie's funny, too.
Yeah.
There's no reason why people piss on that movie.
I think a lot of people, it's like, oh, that sucked. Did you see it? No.
I know. I told you that story about that woman. I'm trying to get from her. I'm like, well, why do you hate it? Did you see it? No. So how do you have an opinion about something you haven't seen? I hate when people shit on stuff that they don't know. That drives me nuts. It's like, this is art. And she's an artist, which drove me even more batty because it's like, you're an artist. You know what the struggle's like. Don't do that. Like, if you're going to have an opinion about something, at least have seen it. Don't just echo somebody else's opinion that you read on a Facebook post. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it definitely got a lot of toxic word of mouth before anybody even saw it. I mean, I got to say the trailers and commercials didn't do it any favor, but
you know what?
At least we went and saw it and we made our own opinion and
I gotta be honest,
enjoyed ourselves.
The first Guardians of the Galaxy, those trailers were shite too.
The first trailer was garbage. The second trailer was actually pretty good for the first Guardians movie.
Was it? I don't remember. I just remember the first trailer and I was like, what is this? Yeah,
when I saw the first trailer for the first Guardians movie, I was like, oh no, Marvel's going to have a tough time with that one.
Yeah. And then we saw it. We were like, holy smokes, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Never doubt Marvel.
Trailers could, you got to have a good trailer.
God, I want to say that Wesley Snipes line. What is it?
Which Wesley Snipes line?
Passenger 57.
Oh.
Because I screw that up so much.
You said the Wesley Snipes line, and my first thought that came into my head was what? Hee hee. from that terrible
Because
Twilight
that's what
movie.
we call him now. We don't even call him Michael Sheen. We're just like Wesley Snipes.
Always bet on black.
Always bet on black. Always bet on Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you used to be able to always bet on
yeah, I don't know about phase 2. Well, whatever.
I think they're up to... Is it phase 2 or is it phase 3 or 4 or 5? I don't even know.
I'm not even keeping track, to be honest. I guess there is a thing such as superhero fatigue.
They're just pumping out too much stuff and they can't maintain the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a thing. You've mentioned this in the past, and I've heard about this in the past, but I did a deep dive on a video on YouTube about like VFX houses and how they get screwed over, and the VFX house that did Life of Pi that basically went under. That's wild. Like I remember this, but I guess I didn't really pay attention to it. But after watching this YouTube video and then going down the rabbit hole, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're working these people to death.
Jeez.
There is it's not only that, it's just so much, and it's not just Marvel stuff. I mean, there's a ton of Marvel stuff. There's
but
DC
Disney too.
But every film, even films that you don't think have visual effects have visual effects in them.
So this was another thing that I found really fascinating about this. So that Life of Pi movie did well for Ang Lee. I think won 4 Academy Awards. This VFX house had to shut down because apparently in the midst of making the film, something in Hughes, I forgot what it was called, but so it was like a pretty famous VFX house. In the middle of shooting this film, I guess Ang Lee was like, I want this changed. So the VFX had to now completely redo the work that they had done. It was sort of reminded me of like how you like and work are like, oh my God, I have to do this whole thing from scratch.
Yeah.
And apparently the cost of that doesn't go to the studios. It goes to the VFX house. So they have to shoulder all that extra manpower.
Yeah.
So they basically run themselves into the ground.
Yeah.
And this company, right after the Oscars, had to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, I think the way it normally works is when they get contracted, it's like, okay, we're going to give you like $10 million to do the effects for this movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if they do like $9 million worth of work, and then they suddenly come in and say, oh no, this guy is supposed to look like this, or this is supposed to look like this, and they have to redo $9 million worth of stuff, but they only have $1 million left, they got to eat it.
Wow, that's wild. I can't even imagine.
And that's not even counting the fact that you have to get the stuff out at a certain time,
right?
And you have a certain number of employees, and it's funny. I mean, I'm not a visual effects person, but I do work with like computers, and I handle like the front end of things, like the stuff that you see with your eyes. The people that don't actually build it, it's like they think, oh, you just have that magic wand of yours, and they go, and it's done. Okay, we want to change everything. Oh yeah, I'll just zip it out. I'll just pull it out of my ass in 2 seconds. It doesn't work like that.
I'm gonna Barbara Eden it and wiggle my nose, and
you have to basically tear stuff down, rebuild a foundation, and then build upon that.
Yeah.
Depending on what they're asking you to do. And that could entail a shitload of work. That's why usually when these companies make a bid for something, it's like if they're smart or if they have a lot of clout and power, they will ask for way more money than they need.
Well, that was another thing.
But the problem is that now it's getting to the point where it's like this guy's asking for one, this guy's this studio. They're all asking for visual effects, and there's only a certain amount of people who could do it that well.
Right. Well, so that was the other thing that they highlighted in this video. I'm going to try and find it and attach it to this review as well. But they were saying how like 10 years ago, and everything moves at the speed of light now. 10 years ago, maybe you had like a film that had maybe 1 or 2 VFX studios working on that film. Now you have a film, your summer blockbusters. You've got like 20 VFX places.
Yeah, you've seen the credits.
I mean, you see the end credits of some of these movies.
Indian team, Philippines team,
Budapest team,
English team.
Yeah,
and then there's just like a field of names that never ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All those people got to get paid, and not all of them. Some of them they're beginners.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's happening. It's because they need to fill these huge orders of just incredible visual effects movies. It's like they're hiring people that aren't as good or talented yet, and they're being sort of like thrown into this grinder where they have to basically produce something that like an expert would normally be producing and teaching these people how to do. Meanwhile, the expert, he's got like a backlog of his own stuff. He's just like, just get it done. And you end up with like rubber people.
Yeah. Or
like,
that when we were channel surfing before, we're looking for a movie to watch that. What was that? The thing on Hulu, that animated like kids movie, and we're like, wow, the effects on
Lord.
This is awful.
The
or the
Lion Kid or something. I don't know what the hell.
I don't remember what it was called.
Like, just like a step above like those Light FM commercials.
Yeah, that animation wasn't good. That was like college grade. Don't insult the college students. That was like hobbyist. Well, this film didn't have a lot of VFX, but it did have a lot of chase scenes, a lot of stunt work.
Yeah.
It's funny because you could definitely see that some of those people were not Melissa McCarthy, which is great. Yeah. But I love that it's all like one thing and they don't really stray from it. And they don't, I guess they don't apologize for it because it's very obvious, but it's still in the film. Like they could have panned to a different shot.
I'm immersed. I think the only reason why I'm really noticing it more now is because I've seen the film like 7 or 8 times.
If not more.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fantastic film. All right. So again, if you like your comedies dirty, what was that line?
If you're not afraid of foul language.
What was that line from Breaking Bad when Saul meets Skyler? I forgot. That was a good line, though.
I like my women like I like my martinis or something.
Dry and a little
dirty.
Something like that. But there wasn't anything dry about this film. It just gangbusters. I loved it. It from start to finish. If you like your comedies dirty and filthy.
Language-wise. There's not much. It's not like, I mean, there are sexual innuendos, but there is not a lot of nudity in it. There's one bit of genitals. That's about it.
But it goes by very quickly. Yeah, this is definitely in your wheelhouse. Check out 2015 Spy from writer-director Paul Feig, rated R with a runtime of 2 hours, currently streaming on Max, but probably available on other platforms, but we saw it on Max. Yeah, just so good. So good. Yeah, I mean, you don't really think of Jude Law as a comedy guy, but he's great in this.
He's great in it. Everybody's great in it.
I mean, Jason Statham does the action guy, but he also does comedy, but it's really great to see him in this because he is just amped up 1,000 watts. Yeah. Allison Janney being super straight, amazing. Bobby, Cannavale, Byrne, just jerky jerks, but really funny, really good. Yeah. And of course, the unbeatable Melissa McCarthy, who is, I feel like she's got to be Paul's muse. She's in a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
And she's
fantastic.
She's fantastic, yeah. Go check it out. Spy from 2015. Rated R, 2 hours. You won't be disappointed. And that's it from us. Oh, and little fun fact from IMDb. Tomorrow is Mr. Feig's birthday. So happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday. Thank you for such a fun comedic ride. Mm-hmm. That's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.